What's up, you guys? I'm here. I'm over here. Hello. I know you couldn't see me for a minute there, could you? Sorry, get off my plate. Stop it. Right, here's a 10-5 game, and we're facing the Scandinavian. A lot of people don't like facing the Scandinavian. I don't like facing the Scandinavian. I don't know, it just bores me for some reason. So what I'm playing is the Blackmar Gambit, and this can go a few ways. As I've said before, if they take here, you proceed with f3, offering the second pawn. That is the Blackmar Gambit. Then Mr. Diemer came along and said, well, isn't it better if we play knight to c3 first, taking us into the Blackmar-Diemer Gambit. And then if knight comes out here, we have more options. Knight out is, I think, by far the most common move. Obviously defending the pawn makes a pile of sense. You can carry on Blackmar style, offering the pawn, and then when they take, again, you've got two options. You can recapture with a knight, which is very natural, or you can recapture with a queen, which is, I think, the rider gambit, and that is super, super spicy. Okay, and here, this can't be all that good, can it? Right, opponent has moved Freddy. Opponent, by the way, is rated 1189 and hails from Egypt, Masr. Okay, so opponent has moved Freddy. Opponent hasn't been watching my channel. What am I talking about? I'm with Freddy all the time. So, Black M Shaheen 12 is trying to defend the central pawn with another pawn. Okay. So we could carry on in traditional Blackmar style and offer a second pawn, then leaving this pawn looking kind of dumb. We could develop the bishop. It's got a couple of very natural squares. This one actually pins this pawn. We cannot develop the knight to its natural square. Let's go Blackmar style. Let's play f3 and do this. This pawn is defended by the queen. This is a rated game. This is a 13-3 for yours truly. And Lord knows I need the rating points at 15-10. My highest a few months ago is about 1673. Okay, we've got options here. Take with queenie, knighty, or pawny. Pawny, no. We're just isolating two pawns for no reason whatsoever, and we're not developing. So knight takes, makes a heap of sense, defends this pawn, thereby also releasing the queen. But we should always consider the other option. Easiest way to get better in chess is just consider more things. Now queen takes actually hangs this pawn. So I'm going to take the knight. Right? Simple reasoning. There's a lot of stuff you don't see unless you stop. Like I missed that mate in one yesterday. On two moves I missed it. And if that had come up as a puzzle, I'd have gone, so what a stupid puzzle. It's mate in one. You know, what is this? A 200 rated puzzle, you know what I mean? Okay, I can come out and hit the knight. But you've got to be thinking now, where's that king going to get himself to safety? Because it's not looking there. I kind of like the look of this move and then short castles. Get my rook on the semi-open. This pawn is defended by the bish. So I am drawn to this move. I'm going to play this move. Yep. So you see, before I drop the piece, I just do a scan for, like, basically all his legal moves. I try and scan in a couple of seconds, just to check there's nothing stupid about what I was about to do. So look, I have a lead in development. I'm a pawn down, but I've got a pawn in the centre, right? This is the centre. I've got a pawn here. Woo! Opponent does not. Opponent has some control over the centre with this pawn here, but I've got A, B, C pieces out on the board. He's only got the one. He's only got the knight. What's more, he's severely harmed his kingside safety with the move f5. I spy with my little eye something beginning with O. And it's an outpost. So if you're not familiar with the term outpost, an outpost is a square where you can deposit a piece, usually a minor piece, very often a knight, and it's where there are no pawns in your opponent's half of the board that can move into a position where they can disturb the knight. Right? There is no d pawn on their side of the board. Right? D pawn gone because it captured, isn't it? Right? And the f pawn is already too far forward. It has to be on this square or this. Well, these two ranks, eh? You know, so I could, if I want, drop my knight here. Perfectly reasonable. I could also bring out my bishop and pin this knight. Pin it on the queen. That's very reasonable too. I could also castle my king. So, given a choice of these, you resort to, well, A, what's on the board, and B, principles. What's on the board? Is there a great advantage to this? Not massive, no. I mean, it might just prompt him to do this, I don't know. Castling, there is a bit of advantage. I gain control over this file. Knight to here, that's okay. I think they're all okay. I think though I might even castle long, so I'm going to leave my options open. Let's develop, right? Principles. This piece is already developed. This piece has this square. No one's taking that away from him right now. So let's develop the bishop and pin the knight. It creates a bit of pressure on opponent. Queen e2 is also a move that I've been enjoying a bit more recently as well. Queen e2. Okay, look at this now. I'm going to play queen e2 simply because I see that I have two attackers on this pawn and it's defended en ivoise. Now, if opponent chooses to put his queen here, for example, then it's time to play knight e5 and hit the queen. So I'm trying to play better chess, and in a lot of ways that means applying my principles better. So I already feel like I've got a lot of little pressures on my opponent, and this again is another little mini concession. And because I've got no f pawn as well, my bishop actually has a nice route round here. It can swing round a lot. Okay, now I could, for example, take here, but then tradey, I lose a bishop. Doesn't work. Okay, I could drop my bishop back to here, or I could drop my bishop back to here. If I drop my bishop back to here, maintaining the pressure on the knight, opponent might play g5, then I can drop here, then he might play this, but then I can still come back here. Should we tempt him to super overextending himself? Still fancy kind of long castles. The castles either side is pretty good. So this way I get a rook on the semi-open f-file. This way I get a rook straight in the centre. So I'm a fan of long castling. So now what's he going to do? We still have pressure on this. Still have the outpost, should I want it. The outpost could come with this now, right? Because he's moved that pawn. Okay, so queen's now defending this. That's what he's doing here. I could drop my bishop back now. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to drop my bishop back. Not going to think too hard. Right? This is defended. Happy days. Queen comes back here now. Then it's time. Knight e5. I'm going to cause a whole load of headaches that way, I think. If the queen comes back to okay, queen's moved there to defend the pawn. Interesting. Okay, first things first. Is that defended? Yes. Is that defended? Yes. And, okay. Long castles is a thought. But what else is there? We still have this, don't we? Hitting queenie. And actually, double defending the bishop. So now, in we go with the luscious looking knight to e5. Okay, we hit the queen. Where can the queen go? No, 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 no. No. So it's a no. So it's only a case of this or this. Two squares, right? Let's do them in orange. Okay, she's got two squares. This and this. So, if she should go here, okay, she didn't, right? So, what does that mean? It means she's attacking this pawn. Okay, long castles would solve that, okay? But we're doing nothing right now. Only reason I've got my hand on my mouse is to paint arrows for you. I have knight here, hit the rook, make the rook move. I like long castles. I like the idea of breaking up in the centre now. Feels good. What about bishop here and push pawn? No, I'm going to castle. Just to defend this pawn. And you see my opponent is having no fun at all. Do we have to worry about this? Not sure. I may drop my bishop out to b3, just for good measure. Just as a security measure. I want this pawn. If I could pick this pawn up and slip it into my pocket, I would. Right? So what can we do? Can we just push the pawn, send him to his fate? And now that looks very tempting. Okay, he's come out because he doesn't like my knight there. I don't blame him. Right? If I put my knight here now, attacking this bishop, attacking these squares, rook's going to have to move. It'll probably move to g8, right? Another idea is d5 now. That hits the knight and will prompt this move. I don't see any reason to trade knights, right? This is an awesome knight. This one's only just woken up. So I'm not trading my wicked knight for your poo knight, okay? Now d5 I think has more venom. He's going to have to move this. I didn't think you'd move it there, pal. I really didn't. That's a bit of a surprise, is that, to be honest. Okay, queen's the only defender of this pawnage. I can hit the queen. Can't go there, can't stay there, can't go there, can't go there. Oh, she can't take on there because rook takes. She can't go here. So she's probably going to go there and attack my knight. Or here. Either way, nothing gained at all for white. So we can abandon that idea. Now, I could stick my bishop on this square now. You see, that's the other idea. I'm kind of tempted just to push the pawn. I'm attacking the knight. If pawn takes, I've got loads of pressure. Right, I think on principle I'm going to push. Right, because I know I've got 1, 2, 3 defenders on that pawn. I know that he's only got 1, 2 attackers. Queen's lined up with the king. That's a good thing. This rook's mobile, might join the party. I'm attacking this pawn, which he can't allow to be taken. I'm also attacking the knight. Okay, so. And now look at all the pressure on that. See, if I take with a knight here, I'm just threatening to come in and win this bishop outright, so I've got 3 attackers. So he's going to have to take with his own knight, then I might take with the bishop. Now, or I take with the pawn, threaten this knight. I want to take with the bishop. I think we're okay. Now, if he takes with the knight, I take with the knight. Happy days. I'm hitting the queen and a triple whammy on that bishop there. Okay, and that's like game over. So I don't think he can afford to take me. I think he has to evade. And he can't go here or here. Or he could go here. This is the thought. He could go here. Now, as I get better at chess, I might need to start... No, he's not going to go there at all. He's not going to go there at all because queen takes, bishop is mate. I was going to say, as you get better at chess, you start to think about what your opponent's best moves might be before they make them. Okay, now this, I think, is terrible, but I'm not going to play it. Not going to play it just yet. Has he got any attacks? No. So now I'm literally threatening to come in with either knight. I mean, he's got thoughts about things like this, but I don't think so. I mean, I can take with check here. Can't move to any of these squares. He hasn't got a thought about that. Of course he hasn't, Hunty. Everyone's sitting there spitting Cocoa Pops at their computers going, the bishop's pinned, you map it. You map it. Right, Okay. Right. Shit just got real, huh? The first thing that springs to my mind is I've got knight takes c7 check with a fork on the rook. Right, and that's very nice indeed, thank you very much. Black has 1, 2, 3 defenders on this bishop here. I have 1, 2, 3 attackers. That's what we call equal. Okay, now if I take knight takes, I think the right thing to do is probably rook he1. It's, you know, it's just holding back, hold your horses a bit. Rook he1, I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers on that poor bishop, which is still pinned and still can't move. So that looks good, right? I've got minute 40. Or I've got this. If I do this, he's in check, he's got to go here. Okay? Then he's attacking my knight. I'm not going to do that, I'm going to move my rook. Because I've still got this, haven't I? Where's that king going? He can't go there. He can't really set foot on this rank file. You know? He's not going to move his king here. He just ain't. You can see everything is just gunning down now at my opponent. So now I'm simply threatening to take the bishop with the first of my 1. But let's put them in orange. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Notice that the queen cannot be the last capturer. The queen is the third capturer here. But that's okay, because he's only got 3 defenders. And defender number 3 is the king. So if knight takes, queen takes, it's queen takes queen, and it's game over. It's a horrible, horrible situation to be in. And my opponent resigns. Excellent. Right, now, let's go back again and ask ourselves the question. You should do this with your game as well. Why did Black lose? Now, and it's not because he was playing somebody nearly 400 points high rated. He played the Scandinavian. Okay, fair enough. The Blackmar Gambit. And I don't like this move. I do not approve of this move. In general, you should not bend over backwards to defend a gambited pawn. If you're going to defend a gambited pawn, as in you're a pawn up because your opponent has gambited one, right? This is an extra pawn. It's already in the opponent's territory and it's doubled, right? This is the point of gambits in a lot of cases, that your opponent will, very often, you'll find they will recapture the pawn at some point anyway, and suddenly you'll turn around and you're like 2 tempi behind in development. If you're going to defend the pawn, something like knight f6, which is the typical move. But this one I don't like. Here, okay, and we haven't given up another pawn here. What we have done is traded a pawn for 2 free moves. And I will take that. I will take that any day, right? And now what the story of this is that white is the player playing the gambit. So white needs to seize initiative, needs to stamp authority and control over the board as quickly as possible before black has time to get the king to safety, right? And because of this horrible move here, that should be black's priority. Black should be playing knight out, bishop out, queen out, get the king to safety, rook on the semi-open file. Okay, he develops his knight. Now this is a kingside knight, and he ain't castling kingside unless he is a fool, which he's not. Okay, so I now bring out a bishop because I spy a nice diagonal, and I'm getting ready to castle, should I wish. He defends the pawn again, also blocking in this bishop slightly. Pawn, by the way, was not under attack at this point. Okay, so he's got time, for example, to develop a piece, which he didn't do. And this is, you know, this is why openings matter. Openings matter because a sloppy opening can lead to a disadvantage in the middle game, which can lead to a losing endgame. All right? It doesn't mean that you should obsess over openings, because you'll do better as a beginner or improving player by studying endgames and tactics than you will by studying openings 100%. But it is why openings matter. But fortunately, we have opening principles to lean back on, which mean you don't have to remember a heap of theory. Because I'm not in book. Now, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm making it up as I go along. Right, I decided to develop my final minor piece. right? Minor pieces before major pieces, knights before bishops, right? Get your king castled, happy days. Right, he develops a bishop. I develop my queen off the back rank, right? Now, you notice this move comes back to haunt black, because black never castled his stupid king, right? And I've got a queen in line with the king, okay? And I'm also putting, so this is an immediate tactical opportunity, right? Lining up my queen with opponent's king is a longer term strategic or positional threat, okay? It's a potential threat, plus developing the queen off the back rank is a good principle. So there's lots, it looks like a nothing move, but it ain't a nothing move, is it? Right, now this is a nothing move. Right, now queen comes out because because I've got more bits out in the board. I've got all these bits, right? He's got 1, 2, 3 bits. Because I've got all these bits out in the board, I've got more control over things like this backwards pawn. Okay, so now he's forced to do something he doesn't really want to do. He's moved his queen out in the board before he's moved his minor stuff out in the board. And this is not the way to go, boys and girls. Okay, I drop my bishop back here with tempo, attacking the queen. This is move 10, and he's already backpedaling. Okay, now we consider this move, right? It's a sexy move. It's a sexy move. It's a nice move, right? But don't just immediately spaff your move, right? Wait, see what's right. But it is time to play it. Okay, because at this point now it comes with tempo, right? I could have played this move a few times, like we saw, like here or here, right? But we held it off. But now it comes with tempo. So now I've done this, bingo. And now black has to waste another move moving the queen. There goes the queen, I castle. Okay, doing more than one thing at once. Getting my king to safety, centralising my rook, and defending the pawn that was under attack and undefended. Yeah? Hanging pawn, safe pawn, happy days. Opponent decides to start developing pieces. I come in with another attack on the rook. Okay, also a kind of discovery on here. It's defended now only by the queen. And my opponent is starting to go, you know, plates are starting to fall and smash on the floor. And now we break in the middle. All right, got all my stuff in the board. I've got a rook on the open file, semi-open D file. Right, I've got, you see, major piece on the two central files. This is also an option, but we play that at the right time. He takes, I take with the bishop here, because I really, really want to get my knight on there. He obliges, thank you very much. And it's now over in 2 moves. He does this, and I do that, and there we go. So let's have a quick look at the game review. Okay. Got a bit of a bug, by the way, anyone from chess.com watching, on the Brave browser, which is a Chrome wrap. Look at this. It's wrapping round here. That's a float issue. Developers. Right, 81.7. That felt a little bit higher than that, to be honest. I would have been happy with like high 80s on that one, but hey, one great move, one mistake, no blunders from me. Okay, so let's see what the computer says. Oh, computer says that's a book move, and that it's almost equal, right? But consider, black is up a pawn here, and the computer says it's even. F3 is excellent, bishop g5, yeah, considered. That's not good. Best move here, e4. Very often the case. And actually, a Scandinavian player should know that. Okay, so not good. Knight f3 is best. Inaccurate. That's inaccurate. Bishop b5 check. Slightly better. Only half a pawn. Doesn't really matter. e6 it likes actually. Inaccurate. Queen e2 is best. Well, queen e2 comes. Hold your horses. Mistake. Should have kicked the bishop. But look, I mean, you know, here we're already in a good position. Queen e2 is best. Excellent. I'm really happy about that. Really happy about that because it's a nice little move, putting your queen in front of your king. And I don't do it enough. Okay, that's all right. And that's a mistake. Oh, wow, it wanted to push g5 and kick the bishop again. Yeah, but now it's +2. Okay. Long castles is best here. Okay, but I decided to do that because... Okay, and that's a mistake. Oh, that's my mistake, look. Oh, yeah, I missed it. Just missed it. Horrible, horrible pin of doom. Yeah, could have put my bishop here, defended by the knight, pin it and win it. Absolute pin, there's nothing you can do. I missed it. Yep. Okay. Note to self. You see, it doesn't matter how dominant you think you were in a game, there's always things to learn. That's a mistake. And it's not a mistake because it's a bad move. It's a mistake because there was a killer move. Okay. That's best. That's great because it's the only good move. Mistake. Best. Bishop takes here is best. Yeah. See, the engine very often just favours grabbing material. Yeah, we could have done that. I decided to break. Not good. That's excellent. Knight better. And please say rook HE1 is the best move. Bingo! See, that is... The reason I'm happy about that is because it's mature, that move. You know? I could have gone in for the bishop, but all good, all good. But look, bottom line, we won the game. Kicking myself a little bit for missing that pin, because that would have been juicy. But there you go, that's how to beat an 1100. And a little bit of info on the Blackmar Gambit, Blackmar-Diemer Gambit, and Gambits in general, and how to win with Gambits. So hope that's been useful for you guys. Please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because we're very, very close to 8,000 subscribers, and it means a lot. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.